Good evening, supporters, fans of the Trini Afro View. I know many of you all would have seen the change in the logo and in the branding and so on. Just to give you a little explanation as to what happened, we were contacted by a gentleman from some part of Africa.
Interior, yeah.
That apparently has a TV station in the name of Afro View. So we decided to change it to the Trini Afro View because, of course, it's African issues, but it's affecting the Trinidadian population in Trinis and so on. So that's basically what happened. Nothing to be scared about or worried about. Or
nothing else can change it.
Yeah, we ain't changing besides that, right? Same modus operandi. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We want to just shout out some of the sponsors. Mask by
Ogunwumi.
Mask by Ogunwumi. T-shirt is by the Nubian Experience, right?
Watch.
Davidson Watches.
Yeah.
Right. This T-shirt is 868 T-shirts.
868 clothing. Yeah.
Right.
And we in the world famous Swagg on the world famous Swagg
Swagg, you know. Yeah.
And we wanted to start like that today because today we want to talk a little bit about legacy and in the African community when it comes to with businesses, with families, and the different things that we do.
Wealth.
To create and to keep and carry on for the future generations.
Mm-hmm. So, on that note, I mean, let me just explain to you all what the definition of succession planning is. It is the strategy for passing on leadership roles of owners of businesses, heads of families, and it ensures that businesses continue to run smoothly after the main person or persons retire or die. So, on that note, it is one of the most touchy subjects, I believe, in our community, because after last week's episode where we went and we talked to Makemba, afterwards we was vibing with Makemba, we was talking about people like Leroy Clark and what was the other gentleman name? I forget his name, boy. Who bought all the paintings? You remember his name? I don't remember. No. Right. So I mean, I have many examples of people in my circles and my family who would have died and their children just don't care nothing about the business. They don't care about the fact that the mommy and daddy would have taken time to sacrifice and build this business, right? And as a result of that, they try to sell out everything and just make a quick buck or quick dollars off of what the parents would have built.
And one of the things part of that too is us as parents today who trying to do it.
Yes.
Talking it from an early age with
our children, right?
Because some of us don't really have a clue as to the kind of struggles and sacrifices with parents need.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
We necessarily want to tell the children every little episode and every little thing that happened. But we need to sit down and talk to them and show them, well, you know, I created Swagg to build wealth in my time. But I think it's something that you could carry on. Look at it, this is what is going in Swagg. My idea, as they get older, get each other involved in it now. So that it's not just something they're watching from the outside, they're benefiting from, but they don't feel a connection too.
Correct. Yeah. But we see it in the other communities when we go in a Chinese restaurant.
I always use that example.
Right.
Always.
Small man behind the counter cashing, he might be taking folding boxes or whatever the case is.
The little girl come from school in the evening, and all she do is take off her school shirt, right in South. All she do is take off the Georgia school shirt.
One time.
And she taking all the heart, no one thing. Because even though we've been trained to look at it as that is just a place selling food, they're making money. They come from the next side of the world.
Correct. And making money.
Selling food and making money. Well, we can do that right here too.
Yeah.
But we have to start to look at it as more than just selling food. Is a business.
It's a business, right? And we see it in the East Indian community as well. I went to school with a young fella. Of course, we used to build Jones and the man, right? But he leaving school after school. Same thing, think of his shirt, pony hat, and he going and sell doubles.
Yeah.
Right? And it's only when we reach in Form 5 and start to pull up, come to school driving. Everybody was like, wait, boy. You know, look at that. But he was working and he involved in the business. And we see it have people who studying the doctorate, who are going for the doctorate, who studying medicine, who studying law. But when they finish in Houston and they finish in Mount Hope and things, they're leaving and they're going in the mother and father hardware and they're getting involved in the business. Right? So we have a list of topics that we want to touch with regards to this particular discussion. And the first one is patience. Right? I am guilty of it. I know you just mentioned to me on the side that you're guilty of it as well. Where in the early stages of our businesses, we would have, meet up certain obstacles and became frustrated and whatever. And the thought, I know it crossed my mind, of just forgetting about this and continuing with my salary. Right? And my wife, she was like, Carol, nah, boy, we come too far to do this now, boy. And when I sit down and I listen to her, I say, you know what, you're right. Because when I sit down and I think about how much time and energy and money we invest in the business, it was difficult for me to turn my back on it, right? And I think it's something that we really struggle with in our business because for some reasons, society sells us this instant success thing and it don't work like that.
So that instant success is what they show on TV.
Yeah.
Most of the time they show you on TV, a man starts small, they might show you a little, a struggle, and then, the business big now. I still have today that struggle because I try to sell African clothing, I sell African clothing and African inspired clothing.
Right.
To a population of people that are not necessarily, I want to choose my word correctly, are not necessarily proud of the African heritage.
Right.
Right? When I started it, I thought, well, because I wanted it and couldn't find it, I thought it also had other people who wanted it. And it has grown and everything, but there have been some trying moments, there still are. And it had moments when I was like, I even write it on Facebook already, closing down sale. Yeah, because it frustrated me.
Yeah, I get catching that.
We didn't have, remember, we trying these things without shoulders to stand up on. We doing this on we own. And I didn't, especially in the early part of the year, I give thanks. Because look, I just come back from my Prindella Fashions. Miss Carol and Miss Curriga and Carol Mandela. And they must pillars in the black business community. They are around doing the thing a while, and Miss Carol sit down and share certain things with me, give me encouragement and thing, and I have one or two other people like that today. Right? So I'm much stronger mentally, even though I might still face some of them. But you see that patience. If you have a business idea, research it.
Yeah.
Research it. Try your best to plan it, but also look for somebody.
Mentorship.
Yeah, look for somebody to talk to. It might be readily available, but look for somebody involved in some sort of business as well, especially if they in something along the line you're interested in, and talk to them first, because there will be days you'll be frustrated.
Yeah. And then when you have that person, the support factor is also important, because sometimes, me and my wife in the same business, but plenty times she's my shoulder. You understand? Yes, I might be the driving force in the business or whatever the case is, but when I start to lose power and I start to lose energy and things, sometimes she's the one to say, nah, babe, let you go. You know what I mean? So that's where the mentorship is important. And sometimes it may not be somebody who older than you in the business. Right? It have younger people, especially in my industry. I will say this proudly, it have some young fellas moving and shaking in the barbering industry who I know that I could call on, right, because I ain't big on the enhancement game, but at the end of the day, them fellas and them have it done master it already. Right? So I now could go to them and say, hey fellas, teach me this now. It might cost my premium, but at the end of the day, it's education, right? So we had to also look at that age factor. It has no, learning goes both ways. We could learn from the younger generation as well as the younger generation could learn from us. Right? So we need, check people, if you're now starting we know we see plenty of our school friends now starting businesses and things like Giselle, Dwayne, right? Who we have to encourage. Maria, Arlene.
The patience
Patience is important.
Your will thing.
Yeah.
And our next thing with that to go the patience.
Yeah.
We have to start to build a circle.
Correct.
Right? Like
And
the names we now call them know us.
Mm-hmm.
And we are among why we shouldn't be afraid or ashamed to call and say, Karen, boy, you know, thing just to build that kind of vibe, and Karen might give back a certain kind of energy. Say, yeah, well, I'm a again, you know. We to go with the patience, we have to be brave enough to reach out.
Yeah. Ask for help, right? The second, and I think one of the things that is destroying our ability to create a legacy or create any form of succession planning is trying to enjoy the spoils while we building, right? And what I mean by that is we have this mentality where as soon as we start to make the money, we have to drive the Benz. As soon as we make the money, we have to go Disney, or we have to go France, or wherever you might want to go is a dream. But at the end of the day, the correct way to do it is to build the business. And the business will bring me money to send you. It will bring me money to buy the Benz. But you can't, not within the first 5 years. Sometimes businesses might boom within the first year because it's a new idea.
Yeah.
But then as the nostalgia wear off and people like, the novelty, wear off, and people yeah, had enough of that. And you take a little dip. Right? Then is when the frustration is coming, because at the end of the day, you capture the market, but you don't want to stay in power. So what is happening is people start to turn away from your business. So you know how to get creative, marketing, advertising, all these things in terms of keeping your clientele and keeping people interested in your product. Right? And
that goes with the learning about what you're doing.
Correct.
So that it has some kind of staying.
Yeah, power.
But if you ain't learn anything, and yes, you have a novel idea, what then? Because what we see with this whole coronavirus pandemic, we see a lot of people. I mean, I have had to become very creative. I've had to do things a little differently. You have had to do some things a little differently. And a lot of other businesses, some either diversify, change the whole way the businesses operate. We have to be willing to do that too.
Right.
The idea of spending as a get, again, because plenty of us, especially I talking about from our generation, especially those of us who start late, you know, we work for a company for 10, 15 years out of school, and then we decide, boy, I think some of us starting a business with nothing. I started the Nubian Experience with not a clue. I mean, I did principles of business in CX. Passed that subject with flying colors.
Me too.
And nothing I did there applies to what I doing today as a businessman. You know? So part of succession planning, boy, again, mentorship, very, very important. And your mentor should be able to and willing to tell you, hey, that 10,000 you make this month, you can't spend that, you know. Because next month might be so. That's right. And them is lessons I personally learned very, very hard.
Correct. I learned it too, trust me, because in everything it has peaks and valleys, you know.
Yes.
Life business, but it's important to, while you're at the peak, prepare for the valley, because the valley is coming. You mightn't feel it coming, but it's coming. You understand? And a lot of people feeling that right now because they build their business around Carnival.
Yeah. Right?
And Corona come and say, well, let me see what we're going to do now. It's no Carnival.
But as you touched on, it might be a little off, but plenty of the business at Carnival is us. Right? I want it to be said, I hear Bunchy's song. And say yes. For us to realize how much money Carnival generates. But how much of that money goes through and stays in the black community, even though the black community is the driving force behind Carnival. Everybody getting into Carnival now, but plenty of them getting in because they have the capital to just jump in. But African people, black people, is the driving force behind Carnival. Now that Carnival can't happen in the way it traditionally does, you'll see how much people feel the hurt. I hope that we use this time to come up with something exactly that will also turn it back into a money-making thing in our communities.
Correct. So right now, again, a little rest. Think about it, and find creative ways to come up with new ideas to shape the carnival and how we could take this thing forward.
To also get back into the carnival.
And get back into the carnival too.
Because, I mean, you can't go around the savannah again and say you're enjoying part of carnival, you know. No banning passing certain places. You can't get a proper food vendor on the side. Some of them food vendors frightened to make things because no bans in passing by where it is and all kind of thing. So, we have to think of our ways. We are geniuses in the communities. Correct. Think of our ways to get back into the carnival.
Correct. So, I mean, coming out of that, the next topic is the importance of will writing. Right now, I spend 6 of my prime years, working years in the industry, the insurance industry. And I have heard some of the most absurd statements come out of African people's mouth when it comes to writing a will. Right? A man watched me in my face and he said, Karen, what are you writing a will for? As I write a will, I go dead. Brother, we're saying. Right?
I mean, we laughing, but it's very serious.
It's really serious.
Like some of them things do.
Right? And this is something that also is destroying our legacy. Because I'll be fortunate to say, I would have put certain amount of finances aside and certain amount of investments in place for my children. But if I do not specify who gets what and in what portion, it is going to have a bacchanal. And the bacchanal is where we just get mashed up. It has plenty of land right in Barata right here that owned by African people. That in court, because brother and sister cannot agree on the way forward. Right? However, in all the other communities, the first thing they just do, they buy a house, they start to write who get any house, or who gets any business, or if they get any business, who is what in the business. And it's so specific, done by a lawyer, it's so specific that there is no question as to when you die, if you die tomorrow, even if you write that will today and you die tomorrow, the transition is easy and it's smooth. And you see, having the discussion too with your children is important, because at the end of the day, we don't talk to our children about these things. Right? And by not talking to your children about these things, when the time comes, they're not prepared. Right? And they who feeling because I the oldest, I supposed to think, and I did see about mommy when she was sick, or I did see about daddy when he was sick and things, so I should get the house, and you should get the car, and who should get the bus, and wherever and wherever and wherever. Them things need to be written. You understand? Because I think if we start to attack from this perspective and be specific, it will have less problems and less bacchanal going forward. You understand? So,
because I agree, because I think each one of us know either within our own family or close around. We talk about strangers where some kind of bacchanal because it have a house and the granny died, and I know it personally. It still hurt me today.
Yeah.
I know it personally from watching close friends of our family go through that.
Right.
You know, and it was sold under them because they didn't have nothing, they would not know what's left.
Yeah.
So, will planning, but give me an idea, seeing that it was in there, is that something expensive to do?
Nah, you could write a will on your own.
Right.
Right? You don't necessarily need a lawyer. What you would need a lawyer or the notary public or whatever for is to cement it now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that process, is it expensive? Is it
No, it's not an expensive thing. It's not supposed to be, at least. But of course, I am not a lawyer, right? And I know my mother have will. Well, I think so, right? But for the people who I knew that had wills, it was a simple document, you know. You sit down and you type up your last will and testament. I have 4 properties, I have 3 children, right? The proceeds from the properties must be sold or whatever, or I want A to get 1, B to get 1, C to get 1, and the 4th one will get money. Yeah. Right? So will-wise, I mean, it's something imperative that we need to start doing, because at the end of the day, everybody else It's not just because everybody else doing it.
But it's important and it's necessary.
It is necessary because there is no transition, there's no carrying forward of anything when you don't have instructions to be carried out.
Binding instructions.
Instructions.
The people who hear that would probably get in fussing and arguing.
Yeah.
They can't do it because
they
could only get vexed. They ain't like what you do. But they have to carry it out.
Correct. And I mean, some of the things you could have as well is like as a trustee. Because if your children young, right? Like my oldest is 20. So I might say, well, here what, one of my brothers or my sisters will be the trustee to my will. So that if anything happens to me, if I have money, the money is to be held in trust until X amount, right? Until Tyler reach this age or Amari reach that age or whatever the children reach whatever age. As each one of them hit 18, they must get a certain amount of money. And their explanation must be there as well. What is this money for? This is not to go and buy a wet man. You understand? Not to go buy cashier and just spend out and buy 1,000 Jordan. You understand what I'm saying? It's specific to what you're supposed to do. This is for university thing. This is for your first vehicle or whatever it is. This is to start a business, whatever. You know, banks still do trust. Right? So that is important. So if it is, you have a lump sum of money that you have waiting there, whatever the case is, you're able now to say, hey, FCD, Republic, whatever, in the event of, this is what's supposed to happen. So you give the bank that instruction. So even when you die and your will have to probate or your estate have to probate,
that's still there.
That's still correct. You understand? So on that topic, if you're curious about it, or you could message me, I will put you all onto my lawyers. We have some very good financial advisors in the arsenal as well. So if all you feel or you need help with that is concerned, just ask. Right? The next one is insurance.
Well, I know I'm guilty. I only recently, at 40 plus, I only recently decided, boy, it's time to win. I know I'm guilty of all the negative things I have to say about insurance. It's only recently I realized
the importance.
We shall actually, that was a real stupid stance.
Yeah.
To not even actually try to hear.
Yeah.
I have never honestly given an insurance agent honest time. I say it's only about not even a year ago. I realized boy, and it's because of some form of I bring home. I realized boy, it's something I have to get into.
It's imperative.
Yeah.
It's imperative. And I mean, as somebody who lived, breathed, and eat that for 5 to 6 years, I also heard a lot of nonsense from our people about insurance. From men especially, why must they got a policy? When I get and go on, why they must spend my money? Partner.
Yeah, that one kind of...
Yes, ignorance. Right? And so she go get her next man, and my money go see about he. Partner, you want to give your wife the ability to not need to take her next man. You understand?
At least not
in a hurry. Not for that.
At least not that. The ability to, you want to know that you're leaving something. I mean, there's no message to sell for them, for she to be able to take care of herself.
Yeah.
And whatever child or children you will have
behind.
Yeah.
I tell them men say, but that she problem when I did.
No.
It can't be that way.
And that is a level of selfishness in the black community that we have to address.
Correct.
Because I have been told as an adult, male, I am very selfish. I have heard in conversations with other men, they say, hey, my woman tell me she find her selfish. And they can't see, inclusive of myself sometimes, why you would say that I'm selfish? I ain't already seen it now. But that statement that you say you get as an insurance agent is funny to laugh at, but it's scary and sad at the same time. That you wouldn't want to, because as I say, I personally have never given an insurance agent the time.
The time, yeah.
But just the thought of it to say, I don't want to leave money for my wife if something should happen to me now, unfortunate now. Nah, I ain't that.
And I could show you how important and how stupid the thought of it is, Imagine everybody that's running down their biggest purchase is a house. Right? You buy the house, you're paying a mortgage, but the house not insured. in the mortgage not insured. Now, some of the banks now forcing you to insure your mortgage, right? So if you borrow $1 million, you have a life insurance policy against your life, $1 million, right? You're there tomorrow, $1 million paid to RBL, First Citizen, Scotia, whoever, the property stays in your family, right? The bank not now coming in to say, well, hey, mommy there, no? Or they have to move out. How are they paying for this?
More sad stories.
More sad stories,
yeah.
right? So, simple things like that. We just insure we car, but we do insure we house, right? Are we doing insure we life?
That what you just talk about there, with the house, that makes so much sense for you. Just hearing that off the top of your head.
It's a scary thing.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing. And it has so many different facets to insurance, but the life insurance policy in particular is what I want to deal with, because it is the easiest way for us to create a legacy. Umar Johnson talk about it, right? He explained that you ever try to, you think you could save $1 million in your lifetime?
Right now?
Yeah.
No.
Right. So we could save it, but to save $1 million and understand that inflation eating away at the value of your money, the increasing in food prices, cost of living, all these things increasing, and you saying, well, now I have $100,000 saved from a small man. 100,000 now and 100,000 5 to 10 years from now is nothing. So you have to consistently be thinking about that. You understand? And it have different types of insurance. It have full life insurance with savings and all them things. If you're not into that and you can't afford it because it will be a little more expensive, you can buy a term policy. Term to 80, term to 75, term to 100. Half a way man if 100. Right? But it is cheaper to own as a policy, right? If it is your shop and you can't afford, the other types of insurance, term policies there. So sit down with your life insurance, find a life insurance agent. If you don't have one, link me. And sit down and have a discussion with your financial advisor, your insurance agent, about insurance and what amount of insurance you really need. Because sometimes we just say, nah, I can take $500,000, that is enough. But this time, your mortgage is $1 million. The contents of your property is our next million, right? Your bills is about $10,000-$15,000 a month. By the time you add that up for the year, is our next 100 and something, 200 and something, 300 and something $1,000. And you say to yourself, well, if anything happened to me, I want my children and them to be comfortable. And you say, nah, $500,000 can do that. Bro, trust me. So those little things, yeah, sit down and discuss.
I know. I will say this out loud for my son ears to hear. We had to look at insurance more seriously.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we definitely had to do that.
Yeah.
As I say, I personally, but because of something that happened, and I see the forms and everyone hearing in my own household, I realize it's something that
important.
Yeah.
And don't get tired, the wealthy own insurance, eh?
Yeah.
It have people who have the 1% have 20 million, 50 million in the bank, and they have that in insurance. So on top of the 20 million that children go and get, they have a next 20 million to get in insurance that might pay off the company debt and whatever, so the company can continue to go. You understand? So all this discussion is a hard thing for me to talk about, but somebody has to start. Because if we don't start, partner, I don't know when it will change. I hope out to see the change within our generation, but that's a push. So I think that is where we come in with the training Afro, to try and really discuss these things so that people could start to fall on ears and people could start to think about it, because it ain't going to get no easier.
It's not.
You understand? When we talk about involving your children in your business from young, right? A lot of us guilty of go inside. These big people talking and thing, and you come to play, but sometimes just the children being around.
So
there's pick up. You know what I mean? And I'm proud to say that I'm seeing a lot of stylists and hairdressers and nail techs and things involving the children and teaching the children to think how to take off nails, how to continue to braid. So if I braid in half and you continuing, so the hairdresser could continue and start the next head. So I think that's imperative as well, right? I mean, we discussed that already, so I'll go back to it. The second to last topic is the dying with information.
Plenty. That's why I say something. some people take it as an offense, but I stand by it.
Mm-hmm.
In the African community in Trinidad and Tobago,
Mm-hmm.
we have too much of olders and not enough elders, right? Because there's only an older will hold on to information that Karen could use or Orisha Lashe could use to better themselves and better the coming generations. Only an older would hold on to that information and deal with it. An elder would see these two young brothers trying to do something positive and show them, yo, watching what they're doing, check this now. Try this now.
Yeah.
Or I tried that already. It didn't work too well. What you think about, because remember, you know, he had experience because he tried, or she had experience because she tried.
Correct.
Too much of we. And the, you know, I just tell them plain, I don't want, you know, tell them I don't want around me, the olders and them who them young people, you see when they start, so.
Yeah. Fire.
As a young people, I know how we is.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. I don't know the problems already. And when we just start to discuss the solution.
Correct.
You understand? You're dying with information that could be relevant, could better something. What to do what? It's time for me to start a share. But the onus is also on us as well to seek out
the information.
These elders and them, and put them to the test.
Correct.
And we mean put them to no test as in ask them a question to get ABC answer. We mean simply try to reason with them. Because some of the things we have to take the blame for as this generation, where we make it hard with some of them elders and them genuinely scared
to talk
to deal with us because of how we just deal with them now.
True.
So part of it is on us now, where we realize that now, start to interact with the elders and them a little more. And
joy from them.
Exactly. Some of them experiences could save we headaches.
That's why they say this cemetery is the wealthiest place on earth. And they also say that if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
And we're doing that right now.
We're doing it. We're seeing it. We're seeing it. And that is why I say, I believe, when you tell me you want to do this, I say, well, when this man meets on buddy. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, as I say, the people say, start where you are with what you have. All we have is a ring light and a phone, and 2 mic, and a couch. We starting with that.
Yeah.
We are AC, we are lights. You understand what I'm saying? So we have water in the fridge. We start in day. Yeah. And wherever we reach, because as the snowball starts to turn, it will pick up. And I hope when we fall on somebody here, somebody have a link to somebody that we could get into a proper studio somewhere. Where we could sit down and
call it.
You know what I mean? Get some song advice. I have a number on my phone, but I ain't ready to use it yet. Folks, I mean, let me try my best and reach out to the elders. We have plenty grandparents who young now. Them grandparents. I asked my mother yesterday where she was in 1970. She said, Karen, I really can't remember, you know. She born 1951.
So she was 19.
She was 19.
She's supposed to remember.
She was supposed to remember that. But again, my grandparents were very sheltering.
Alright, okay.
You know, so as much as we grew up in Labanton and my mother and them kind of grew up in our bubble. Right? They protect them from a lot of things, right? But I mean, like when I sit down and talk to other people, grandparents, bro, you kind of information I just get. I tell you, every time Maria father come here, I just start to squeeze because I know everything that man is telling me.
And that was supposed to be when we sit down around the elders and that was supposed to be. I mean, I grew up with my grandfather, Louis Lovelace, in loving memory of Louis Lovelace. And it had the time to like, oh, grandpa, you could really talk, which I inherited I inherited that from my grandfather. I could really talk to nobody.
I too, I hear.
But at times, I remember just going home and just starting a conversation. And when we catch ourselves, me and grandpa sit down talking 3 hours. It was so good. One of my oldest friends, Jason, it's at evenings I come from playing basketball. And he and my grandfather sit down talking. And when I come, he telling me he days in school over. Well, a little while after, because I come home, change, and go to play basketball, and he come and there a little while after. He sit down there talking with my grandfather. So he could talk that he know that too. And I used to do that by his grandparents too. You know? And it kind of grown me in certain things, but I have a certain kind of respect for older people. You know? It have a certain kind of vibe for them too. We had to bring back that to we children. I know I was trying to let my daughter talk to she grandparents as much as possible.
But my mother always talking to my parents.
You know? Yeah. Let them just just know grandpa, know granny, talk to them, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how we would also help break the elders dying with valuable information without sharing it. No?
Yeah, but it has some recipes for pone and sweet bread and look at Kiss now.
Again, so I think that was one of the final points there. Not all businesses are big shiny building.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And I just flow into that day.
Yeah.
That is one of the things that African people, especially what they like to call ghettos. Ghetto is now we think, eh?
Correct.
Get that straight. Ghetto is now we think, eh?
Correct.
But we down to that topic. But they make you feel where to be a businessman, you have to put on a shirt and tie, choke up on your neck, and thing, and go in the thing and talk a certain kind of way. Right?
Yeah.
But you're still see millionaire businessmen stand about those money to the house. What that say? That says a lot.
Yeah.
You know, that same thing a recipe for porn. Look, you know the porn emperor? Walk around a shirt and tie and a briefcase selling porn. Such a novel idea. If you see him walking, see big nice pro.
Yeah.
You never believe it's porn in that briefcase and he porn each all over the world. I going up in a maxi a day and hearing somebody calling from Canada. They can't wait to get porn from the porn emperor again.
You see?
You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand that and children, especially you people here, their children know. We living in an age where your child who you're forcing to try and go and get a government work or go and work could stay home on a computer and make more money in a few years than you ever making your whole life.
Correct.
And they say no woman are Jews and a short pants.
Correct.
We have to stop that judging thing. We have to come out of our mental.
Understanding.
Yeah, we have to come out of our mental way.
Yeah.
You have to go outside their faith. Right now we live in a world where we can stay inside faith.
Yeah. I guilty of that. I guilty of that because I particularly don't like the social media thing, but when I see how my daughter does react to TikTok and these things, and I tell her, I say, listen, I say I want to give you an opportunity now. I want to give you an opportunity now to take advantage of the love and the passion you have for this. I say I don't like it. Right? I say, but the business need it. So why should I go and pay somebody outside and she could be it? Not because she's 12, right? Not because she's 12, but at the end of the day, I give her the opportunity now to shine in something that she really likes, right? And it have degrees in social media marketing.
So one of the things is, because I don't like it either, I try to meet them halfway.
Yeah.
But I just say it hard because we was teenagers. Of course, our parents' issues with the things we are spending time on is much different from the ones that we have now.
Yeah.
But children have to understand, they have to understand. You cannot spend out of your 18 hours awake, you can't spend 16 hours on a phone.
Talking nonsense.
Right?
Yeah.
Also, I want to meet you halfway. I accept that in today's world, that is just the communication thing. I don't like it because I think we're losing our aspect. When you listen to how some young people interact, it's a dry kind of no feeling, no emotion kind of thing. Because you don't have to have no emotion when you sit down watching a phone or when you sit down typing something.
True.
Right? But as you say, I'm also pleading with the young children and boy, you're 13, 14 years old, you can spend 7 hours straight on a phone and then either learn something or do something to try and I mean, we're watching 8-year-old children on YouTube making $1 million for the year, reviewing toys, and we're not encouraging we children to get involved in that. Think about the way we accent rated in the world. Trinidad accent rated as one of the sexiest in the world. You don't want to capitalize on that for your child to start to make money now because it's done spending so much time on the phone to turn around and say, yo, do a video, talk, say something very. Something.
Yeah, something.
Computer repair, computer programming, graphics. The word is graphics because to be on your phone, everything is graphics.
Correct. Everything is graphic design now.
We have to do them things, get involved in it, and not just that saying long and being on the television and them, because for me personally, I would say if all you want to do is sit down and be on your phone to play the phone, then I want to limit you.
You have no choice.
Yeah, I want to limit you. Now, if you're doing something where you could benefit from it, well, then all right.
Sure, man.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. But you can't, and that's the thing about it, because, again, as I said before, it's taking away that ability to effectively communicate.
Correct.
I listen to children here traveling, I listen to young children talking 13, 14, 15, 16. And the dry, you can't tell them the excited, you can't tell them nothing at all.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And all of that is because when you type in, hi, how are you? As opposed to saying, hey, what's going on, Mike? I'm going to allow me to see you.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a difference.
It's a difference.
It's a total difference. So, I mean, society really brainwashed you with regards to business. Two of us, prime examples, you know, when I go in the bank sometimes and I dress, people don't know what I'm doing. When I tell them, see, you're a barber, you understand? And I like that because, no, I just say it with pride. Me say me no business owner and me no salon owner, it's a barber. You understand? Yes, I'm a salon owner, but at the same time, my profession is I'm a barber. You understand what I'm saying? And the same amount of money that I could make, that I am making, I will tell anybody I make more money doing this, and I'm happier. I have let's call it peace of mind, right? The flexibility to do what I want when I want. All these things that come with business, but I don't have a big shiny building with a big sign outside. You understand? And I don't wear suit and tie. Right? So
you don't think it's something you could do and be fulfilled and make money.
Of course.
And that is something we had a break on. So for me, that part of the, we want to try in every episode a solution. My idea for a solution coming out of this episode is breaking that stereotype of to be in business, you need to look this way or be involved in this. I mean, there's no limit to business.
Correct.
Look at our three companies that I could think of on the top of my head in Trinidad and Tobago. It's multi-million-dollar business for picking up garbage. Picking up garbage. You might, there's multi-million-dollar companies on a garbage truck.
Correct.
You know? So there's no way to look. I mean, you imagine that you're in a multi-million-dollar company where the people are then coming to work in rats.
Correct.
So there's no look, and especially as we move forward, kind of wean yourself off of the idea that you have to look and dress a certain way to be in business, but also look at getting involved in business.
And don't I tell you, we have this thing going. I know we're closing, right? But I just want to say that necessity is the mother of creation, right? And when I look at a pay tribute to Giselle Johnson, because it's nablings or enablings or something, so, right? Partner, when I look at how people going crazy over this thing, and I try to wrap my mind like, what are you talking about? She blowing out a bottle.
So let me tell them quick because you mentioned it, right?
Yeah.
It's my friend we went to school with here.
Yeah. Working on the pot.
She's a supporter. We from, right?
Employed.
I remember our time in Emancipation Village.
Yeah.
It's legendary. She messaged me and told me she wore 2 jerseys. Message she went out in the boot, in the village, in the savannah. And when she said, I said, she said, oh good, I just put something on the stove in the oven. Fly down the road. And she does it at all. Going back again to the village cooking. Like, yo, right? So she started decorating alcoholic beverage bottles.
Yes.
And I have never seen anything like it, honestly. Right?
It might have it.
It might, but I have never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And you can see progress too. You know what I mean? Because
but she had to do my glasses because I want some.
Yeah, I was supposed to meet up with you this week here.
Yeah.
Because I have a bottle and 2 glasses I won't do now, you know? Check them out all day because I'm telling you, because some of them bottles of them, I mean, like for me, I like wine.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to have my bottle full on top of the table at all times with
All
wine.
times, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's no
no limit.
Exactly.
No limit to creativity. I have another little friend who's do gift baskets and things. I don't remember the name of her business right now. But when I see she came out of school, she going to university, she young, 19, and she started doing gift baskets. I talking about your birthday coming up, your wife know everything you like. She messaged her, she buy everything, put it in her basket, and all you have to do is come and collect. Thief head and send off. I'm talking about. You understand? Our next youth man decorating sneakers, doing over sneakers and things I like. So like if I have a sneaker color that I have that I don't like, he changing the color for me. He making it sway or whatever, he changing it.
You gotta be brave.
You gotta be brave.
As African people, I will close with this.
Yeah.
Heading into business,
Yeah.
you gotta be brave.
Bold, yeah. Bold
And but one of the things I realize is that bravery is coming in younger.
it is.
So that is why if we encourage your children, you imagine you have a 10-year-old child and you encourage them to go in business. You know what different ideas they could have? They might have done, by the time they're from 10 to 18, they might have done 8 different businesses.
Mm-hmm.
One of them catch and change the whole meaning of the family name.
True.
You know? But we had to encourage them with it.
Try things.
It will be a little harder and more intimidating when you're 30 trying to start a business. You don't have a family or you don't have obligations and things like that.
Yeah.
So get them into business, right? And my African proverb
For the end, my head.
thing is a library burns down when an old man dies. So
I think we used that already.
Elders, you think so?
Yeah, we used that already. The first episode, the second episode.
Well, it just so fitting for
But we talk
When
about,
we talk about-
again,
when we talk about the elders are going to the grave with the information now. We need all the information on our experience.
Yeah.
Share them when we reach out to we will reach back out. So all you, this is the Trini Afro-View. No mix up, no nothing again.
Yeah. If you're red, white, and black, for who was confused.
Right.
You understand?
Right. We're trying to bring solutions to some of the problems plaguing, not just affecting, plaguing
the community.
we communities. Don't be afraid to talk, share the video, comment, and
Or let's drop some topics now.
Yeah,
Some topics. I mean,
Right.
we have things, but it might that's something that you feel pressing that you might want me to talk about. Drop something if you know somebody who's out.
interact with me. Interact with me.
Don't worry, one of these days we will do a live, but we might be able to pay attention because we kind of shocked technologically now. But you know, we will try something and see how it will work.
Right?
I will cannot out in my mind, but we will figure it out. So
So we will link again.
yes, I.
Goodness.
Straight.